Hello, amazing business owners. Welcome back to another episode of Business Straight Up, the podcast and place to be for creative business owners, photographers, anyone in between that wants to actually make a living doing what they love. I will help you with clarity and marketing and all the things, because running a business is so much more than just doing whatever you love to do, right? Today's episode is a little snippet of my free masterclass, Websites That Convert, that will be happening live on Thursday, March 25th at 4 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time. If you are not registered yet, go to businessstraightup.com/websites that convert to get on the list. If you are listening to this after that date and time, there will be a replay, so make sure to sign up to get in on some replay action. If you want to hear a little bit about what you'll learn in the masterclass before you sign up, keep listening for more in this episode. And then afterwards, head over to businessstraightup.com/websites that convert to get registered, because you're probably going to have a few light bulb moments in the next 20 minutes. Now, I want to take a second to let you know that today's version of this class was presented and taught specifically to photographers. That is who I was speaking to, but the principles in this course, in this free masterclass, apply to any creative business. We're going to talk about your website, the two most important pages on your website, and the secrets that you can implement on your own to turn those visitors into clients. If you prefer to see the video version with the slides, go to YouTube or the show notes at businessstraightup.com/067. The show notes will have the video embedded into them. If you just want to go straight to YouTube, it's youtube.com/businessstraightup. This is a very small part of the free masterclass. I wanted to show you a little bit about what we talk about, what we learn, and what we go through, because there are so many things to consider. Your website should be your handshake to the world. Never be content with a half-assed website. And if you have attended this class before, you know that is your cue to say, always use your full ass. Because if we can't laugh while we're learning, then what is this life? Am I right? So if you're ready for the masterclass, go to businessstraightup.com/websites that convert to get registered. If you're just here to listen to the episode, welcome. Let's dive into the episode and chat a little bit more about turning your website into your best performing employee. Hey there, awesome people. I am Brooke Summer, and you are listening to Business Straight Up, the podcast for creative entrepreneurs to learn, connect, grow, and build the business and life that they dream of. Welcome, let's get going and dive right in.
I started my business, I really believed that when I learned to take better photos, I would be successful. And the reality is you can be the best photographer in the world and make nothing if you don't know how to run a business. And I say this all the time. You can be the best at what you do, but if you can't market yourself, you won't be doing it for long. And website is just a part of that marketing strategy. The biggest mistake photographers make is focusing on all of these fancy, pretty things when it comes to their business, instead of learning skills that will actually grow their business and bring in revenue. So a little bit of real talk, a little bit of tough love, because I love you all and I want to see you successful. How are you going to pay for that brand new fancy light or that new camera body when you can't afford to keep your lights on in your house? And that hurts and it's hard to hear. And I was the same way. You guys, my first sessions were $20 with all the files. Okay, I get it. I've been there. But the reality is that you need to know how to run a business if you want to actually make a living doing what you love. So let's talk about the two most important pages on your website, must-haves. First up is your homepage. This is your first impression, your first chance to really wow someone with who you are and what you do. Like I said, when someone pulls up your homepage, they should, within a few seconds, go, hell yeah, I want to talk to this person. or hell no, I'm out of here. And it's okay to polarize people. It's okay for them to say, nope, not the place for me, because it just opens up more space for you to take in the clients that are amazing, that love what you do. Second most important page on your website, often underrated, underestimated. So many people don't think about this, is your about page. It's usually the second most visited page on your website. And it's a chance to really speak to your ideal clients and let them know that you actually get it. You know who they are. You know what they struggle with. And it's a chance to really show compassion and empathy for them. On your homepage, there are some must-have elements. So first, you need a headline. Some people call it a tagline, whatever you want to call it. It doesn't really matter. But you need to be able to explain what you do in one sentence. I can't even tell you how many people I see that say, I specialize in maternity, boudoir, weddings, newborns. And they're going on and on and on and on about what they do. And the reality is you have such a fraction of a second to get someone's attention that you've already lost them and you're not even done with your sentence. So you need a very clear headline that explains exactly what you do, and even better, who you serve, in one sentence. Who you serve takes us into the second element of who and how. Your visitors should know who you serve and how you serve them within 5 seconds of visiting your homepage. When you go to my homepage, you are not going to see newborns on my website anywhere. It's just not what I do. Now, does that mean that you can't shoot something that you're not necessarily showing? Absolutely not. Believe me, I've done weddings for clients who were boudoir clients that then came back and said, Brooke, you're the only person I want to shoot my wedding. And I really fucking hate doing weddings. And so I was like, if you want me to shoot your wedding, it's going to be like $7,000. They're like, done. So it doesn't mean that you can't do what's on your homepage. It just means that you need to be very, very specific about who you serve and how you serve them so that someone sees it right off the bat. Social proof. You need to have at least one testimonial or a rave from a past client to address the primary fears that your clients might be facing when it comes to booking someone in your industry. So this is not just, Brooke takes amazing photos. Yay, that doesn't do shit. Okay. You need to have a testimonial that speaks to what your ideal client might be feeling, what your ideal client might be concerned about. So for instance, as a boudoir photographer, my ideal clients are really scared because they don't feel like they look like the women on my website. I'm not a model. I am plus size. I have a different color of skin. And those are the things that I will really highlight in all of my testimonials, because then I don't even have to answer those questions. My past clients have already done that for me. You also need to have a call to action, and it needs to be above the fold. So let's talk about what that means. When someone loads your website, either on a mobile device, which is very often, and if you don't have a mobile responsive website, you need to get on that. But it needs to be above the fold, meaning when someone loads your website, that they see that call to action before they have to scroll. So before they tap with their finger and scroll down, or on a desktop or a laptop before they scroll down. That's what above the fold means. That call to action needs to be above the fold. Now, this is not about a sleazy sales pitch about book me now, or, hey, you should really do this. It's not about trying to convince someone to book. It's about trying to encourage someone to make a decision, even if that decision is no. You need to have a call to action on your homepage. You also need to have text. And we're going to talk about this when it comes to SEO. I cannot even tell you how many creatives that just want to show off their work. And I get it. I'm an artist too. But you need to have text on your homepage, at least 300 words of text with keywords that are not written for robots. So many people will just keyword stuff their websites, and they'll be like, boudoir photography in Denver, Littleton boudoir photography, Aurora boudoir photography, Colorado boudoir, and they'll just list a million keywords at the bottom, and you will get dinged by the search engines for doing that. It's called stuffing. It doesn't work. It's not readable, and it will make your website not rank as well as you would like it to. Nelia, thank you for clarifying your name. That headline and tagline is something I need to get refined. Actually, I'm not sure I really have a tagline. Think about what it is you do. And I'm not just talking about capturing photos. I'm talking about the transformation or the problem that you solve. So how are you offering your clients a transformation? If you are. And if you're not, if you're just solving a problem of them feeling like shit and coming out of the session feeling amazing, then that's valid too. But think about your tagline and think about this statement being more than just the physical what you do and more about the emotional what you do. So instead of just, I take pictures, I take pretty pictures, I work with women, talk about exactly what you do. So personally, I work with women and couples to remind them of their inherent badassery and to embrace it. And that takes so many different versions between photos. And I also have, the Facebook group and stuff like that. But it needs to be very, very clear who you are and what you do very quickly. And this is why you have 0.05 seconds for users to form an opinion about your website that determines whether they'll stay or leave. That is scary, guys. 0.05, 500th of a second for someone to form an opinion. That is so fast. You need to catch their opinion very, very quickly. So that was your homepage. Let's talk about the About page must-have elements. So I talk a lot about the About page, and I actually have a special formula that several people have now copied. But you can never copy me. So use the Kick-Ass About page formula. If you want to listen to a full podcast episode about this, go to businessstraightup.com/006. It was episode 6, and I will walk you through it. It is basically everything that needs to be on your About page. And then we also have About Pages Masterclass, where I will literally go through and rip apart someone's About page with permission for critique. So that is available as well. And I'll give that resource link a little bit later too. On your About page, first, you need to have an understanding of concerns. So again, this goes back to who and how. Your visitors should know who you serve and how you serve them. And I'm so sorry, I should say within 5 seconds of visiting your About page. This is another element that you need to have on your About page as well. Introduce yourself. Now, don't tell me, and I don't know, people are going to hate this, but don't tell me you've been taking pictures since you were 7. No one cares. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be mean, but no one cares about that. It's like those super awkward About pages where I was holding a camera when I came out of the womb and everyone's like, "Ooh, your poor mom." Like, don't say things like that. No one cares. Tell me why I should work with you. What makes you different? Who are you? Do you really like tacos? Well, cool. So does everyone else. Tell me why. Why do you really like tacos? What do you love about them? Do you really like dogs? Cool. Tell me why. You work with foster dogs. Oh, well, that's amazing. You have 4 dogs. Tell me more about you and what makes you different, because lots of people love dogs. Lots of people love tacos. Lots of people love coffee. And how long you've been taking photos, it doesn't really matter. I mean, you can say I've worked with thousands of clients if that's relevant, if that's something that your ideal clients really care about. But overall, you're just repeating the same things that they see on every other website. And then you're going to go into this bullet point checklist of, well, they have this many years experience, instead of really speaking to their heart and saying, I don't even care about who else is available. I want to work with this person. Share your why. Why do you do what you do? What makes you different? Why would someone choose you over the other photographer that's right down the street? And it has nothing to do with your pictures. I know we don't want to hear that because we're artists and we're like, I worked so hard on learning the lighting and the shadows, and I spent hours working on this. And no one cares about that, because when they look at the pictures, they look the same to them. I know that ruffles feathers, but it's reality. Share your why. Why do you do what you do? And again, a clear call to action. You're going to see me repeat this. Basically, every single page on your website should have a call to action, but it is especially important on these 2 most visited pages, your homepage and your About page. You need to have at least one. Sometimes if it's a long page, it's even appropriate to put more than one. But this is a call to action to encourage someone to reach out and contact you or book with you now, or even look at another page on your website. You need to have a clear goal for that page that will lead them to the next action. What is the journey that you're taking them through? I know it can seem really daunting to share some of your why, and so much of it is based on past experiences that we've had that feel like overshares. They feel vulnerable. They feel scary to share those things on the About page on our website. But that vulnerability is what's going to cause someone to look at your website and go, oh my gosh, she gets it. I'm going through something similar. Or, oh my gosh, he really understands. And dare I say, if there are any guys that are into boudoir photography watching this, you are really going to have to open up and be vulnerable if you want a woman to take off her clothes in front of you with a camera, because she is going to need to understand that you are not a creeper that's just looking for spank bank material. So again, Tough love. Brene Brown is amazing. Vulnerability is the birthplace of innovation, creativity, and change. And it is so true even on your website. So let's talk about reasons why people buy. This is a very loud colored hierarchy. It's called Maslow's Hierarchy of Needs from Abraham Harold Maslow in 1943. And you can see at the bottom, people, of course, need air, water, food, shelter, sleep, clothing, reproduction. That is going to be their primary need that they need to meet. Now, we are very fortunate to live in the culture that we do while we still have problems. The reality is that we are not concerned about a lion attacking us when we step out of our front door. So we oftentimes have those basic needs fulfilled. Now, I realize not everyone does, and we're very privileged when we do. However, from a marketing standpoint, we are going to assume that most of our clients have those things met because we don't fit into that category, right? Safety needs, same thing. Again, that lion's not going to be outside our front door to attack us if we walk outside. Next, we have love and belonging. Now, this is where you can start to kind of address the things that someone might be looking for. So, for instance, sense of connection sounds like it doesn't have anything to do with boudoir photography or photography in general, right? But if you have a community of amazing people that support each other, that can play into your marketing. That can be a piece of your marketing. I love to do boudoir events, and I do events where women are walking around in their underwear. Like there's literally 12 women walking around in their underwear, and everyone is self-conscious at first. And then as soon as they get comments going, girl, your boobs look amazing. And they're like, you know what? They do. And it feels awesome. And so that sense of connection is something that I can offer to my clients and talk about on my website. Esteem, respect, self-esteem, status, recognition, strength, freedom. All of these things are additional things that you can add into your marketing and your client journey. So for instance, Sal Cincotta, I can't remember the name of it. I think it's Black Label, but he actually has a different set of expectations, experiences, and everything that is built into his higher end offering. And they get special bags and special boxes. It's kind of like the designer, like Agent Provocateur versus Victoria's Secret or Louis Vuitton versus Coach. You know, there is a higher end option and he caters specifically to that for that label. And so that is something that he could market on his website because that is a reason people buy. And then the top one is self-actualization, desire to become the most that one can be. And that is a large part of what I focus on in my marketing because as women, especially in boudoir photography, specializing in women, we tend to take care of everyone else and we let ourselves fall to the side. And that is something that I address in my marketing. If you are a newborn photographer, you could speak specifically to safety. And I actually do this as a boudoir photographer as well. How many brand new newborn photographers are just sticking like newborns in glass and not being safe or hanging them from branches? Personally, that terrifies me to think of my newborn being hung from a branch without the safety protocols in place. And there are so many people that don't think of that. So safety is something that you can absolutely address on your website. Another thing to consider is a lot of people don't understand how copyright works in the photos that a photographer has taken. What can they do with those photos? They just sign contracts. No one reads contracts. I'm sorry, we should, but we don't. I mean, how many of you actually read the terms and conditions for your phone when you first opened it? I didn't. It's long and boring. So safety is something that you can absolutely address. Think about the reasons that people buy, because these are the concerns and the motivations that you need to include in your marketing. This is what will convince someone to not only go to your website, but to say, you know, this is the person I need to hire. And I've had people email me and say, I don't care what the date is. I don't care what your price is. I want to hire you. And I could email back and tell them 10 grand. They don't care. Now, of course I don't, but I will send them my pricing and they're like, yeah, I don't care about that. I just need, which, you know, I don't want someone to say they didn't know. So I still send it, but I've had people say, yeah, that's fine. I just need your calendar so that they can book. And that is strictly from my website. That is what they see on my website. So to simplify this, reasons people buy, A, they have a problem. Remember that these problems are not just external. Although the reason that someone might be initially interested in what you have to offer could be external. Remember the internal problems too. So I'm going to take newborn photography again. I want pictures of my baby. Well, of course you do. Like what new parent doesn't? And they sucker us at the hospital, right? Of getting these like baby mugshots that look terrible. in the hospital. So the external problem that you are solving is that someone wants pictures of their baby. Yes, problem solved. But the internal problem that they may not even realize is you have this new little human in your life that you love more than you ever thought was possible. And they're going to be gone in 18 years. And it seems like it's far, but it's really not. It's going to go so fast. You want to make sure to capture those memories so that you still have that little squishy skin picture and the pictures that are commemorating this time in your life and in their life. That is the internal problem that you're solving. So I'm curious, and I know I have something coming up, but what type of photography do you guys do? Because I'm going back to newborn and boudoir just because that's who I've been working with. But I would love to offer examples for your specific niche. One of my students is a senior photographer, and she actually specializes in marching band seniors. So these kids sometimes don't have the confidence that the cheerleaders have because they're not necessarily performing as openly at football games. You know, they're kind of hidden under their marching gear behind their instrument. And so she can speak specifically to the external problem. Oh, I'm not really going to look good in my senior pictures. I don't really need senior pictures. But then she can say, you know what, this is a really exciting time in your life. And it's something to remember because marching band is a piece of your life now, but it won't always be. And having those pictures that show off your instrument and show off all of these things that you loved in this time in your life that have affected you for the rest of your life is valuable. And that's the internal problem. Ray said personal branding. So external problem is I need pictures for my website or I need pictures for my marketing. The internal problem is I don't know if I should really be charging what I am. I don't know if my business is worth it. Are people really going to hire me to microblade their eyebrows or whatever this business is? Are people really going to hire me when I cost more than this other person? And having photos where they feel confident and amazing and they are showing their expertise online, that is the internal problem that you could be potentially solving. Now, again, it depends on who you're doing personal branding photos for, but that is the potential problem that you could be addressing. Another reason people buy is to avoid pain or address fears. Fears are very real. I mean, our culture and our society and basically all of our news channels feed on this, right? It is like, I don't want to call it fake news because I feel like that phrase is kind of a joke now, but it's basically propaganda that pushes fear. And I'm not saying, you know, one side or the other because it happens on all sides, but they're pushing fear. You can watch an hour of news and see, let's say 40 minutes minus commercials, and 35 of those minutes are this is why you should be afraid of this. This is what's happening. You should be afraid. Can you believe this happened? And then they have 5 minutes of, oh, here's your little boost for the day. Here's some good news. And you're like, thanks. That's like 95% bad, 5% good. Yet we eat it up, right? We're constantly still going to the news, even though we know this. So fears are very real and our brains respond to fear. That is part of our monkey brain. Some people call it reptilian brain. There are different parts of your brain that actually respond to fear neurologically. The news knows this, and you have to think about this when you're doing your marketing. We'll talk about this more in just a second, but think about the fears that your ideal client might have right now that you can address, or what pain points are they experiencing. Another people reason buy is to gain pleasure. Ultimately, this pleasure is usually attached to fear of pain or avoidance, either for a current problem or when they're imagining in the future. But sometimes we just want something because we want it. You know, there is no reason that I need a gourmet chocolate chip cookie, but damn it, I want one. And so that is a reason someone will buy, is to gain pleasure.
Hey, gorgeous. Welcome back. Did you love it? I absolutely love it. This is a masterclass that is loved, and so many of my students, even the ones that are already in my course, Biff Up Your Site, still attend because this masterclass has so many takeaways and actionable items. As a reminder, if you want to attend, the live masterclass will be taking place on Thursday, March 25th at 4 p.m. So go to businessstraightup.com/websites that convert to get registered. If you are listening to this after that date and time, don't worry, I got you. There will be a replay. So make sure to sign up to get in on some replay action. I want to help you design your business for success on your own terms so that you can design your life and live the life that you want to live, have the impact you want to have, and positively affect the people around you. I can't wait to see you in Websites That Convert. Thank you so much for listening to Business Straight Up. I'm so glad that you could join us today. Check out the show notes for this and all of the episodes at businessstraightuppodcast.com. And I can't wait to talk with you again. Have a great day.